Another busy weekend for Flagler County deputies, answering over 850 calls for service.
On top of that, Flagler County deputies made nearly 200 traffic stops and several arrests. Sheriff Rick Staley says 20-year-old Devontae Harris was arrested in Palm Coast W section Friday.
Individual that was wanted in St. Johns County for domestic battery by strangulation. Tried to hide in Flagler County, found out he couldn't.
Staley details another high-profile arrest.
An individual that ran to a deputy asking for help that she thought someone was in her car. Drugs will make you do stupid things. She asked us to search the car. During that process, we found cocaine and other substances, and so she was arrested for possession of cocaine, along with a needle and paraphernalia.
Deputies also had additional charges for Mark Franconi.
We also responded to Green Roof Inn and served a warrant on 51-year-old Mark Franconi, who is now also charged with false imprisonment. You may recall he is a person that held himself hostage after threatening his wife with a firearm in an 8-hour standoff in the W section of Palm Coast.
Franconi was already behind bars on charges of battery and aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. And Friday night, deputies arrested Chase Corona, a convicted sex offender wanted in Louisiana. This local news is a service of Flagler County's Toyota dealer, Beaver Toyota US 1 St. Augustine, here to wow you.
Two significant projects, the expansion of Commerce Parkway in Bunnell and a Barrier Island septic to sewer conversion project, will move forward after securing millions of dollars in the state budget. One project, an expansion of the Florida Agricultural Museum, did not survive Governor Ron DeSantis' veto pen. State Rep Paul Renner, whose district includes Flagler County, says he has no problem with the cut.
I feel badly for the Ag Museum because it was on the chopping block, but museums and that kind of thing are, while valuable, are not going to be at the top of our list compared to public safety or education or things that are critically important to everyday folks every single day. And museums are such that we'll have to try to raise some local funds for that, and we may be able to get an appropriation at a later date. We have in the past.
The museum had been slated to receive $6.5 million that instead will go into Florida's reserves. That could benefit Flagler County when it needs it most.
Put aside some money that will be there for us if we have a hurricane, for example. That money goes and reverts back. There's $3 billion there now, and in case we get hit this season, we hope we don't, but that we can recuperate from a hurricane. You need government to do those things. And between the two, let's be honest, that's more important. We have to be ready when things go badly.
From the WNZF Newsroom, I'm Amy Cherry.
Hurricane season is underway, and Flagler County Emergency Management has information on staying safe after the storm and making preparations.
Emergency Management Director Jonathan Lord says the biggest threat is storm surges, followed by activities afterwards that can cause loss of life.
People doing things like running their generator in their garage because they're afraid of the generator being stolen, or running it on their lanai and then cracking a window open to put the extension cord through the window, but then all the carbon monoxide comes in the window. People using a chainsaw that have never used a chainsaw before and decide now is the time to stand on my roof and use a chainsaw, and then realize it may not have been the best choice in the world.
If you don't have an emergency kit already prepared, now is the time to make one and save on the cost.
Up until June 10th, most disaster supplies, even up to $1,000 for generators, are sales tax free. So go frequent our local businesses and go buy those disaster supplies so you are ready for if and when that hurricane happens, and save yourself 7 cents on every dollar while you're doing it.
You can find a list of emergency kit items by visiting the emergency management section at flaglercounty.gov. For Flagler's Morning News, I'm Rich Petchke.
A Flagler County food pantry, one of the largest in the state, is reminding residents who may have fallen on hard times amid rising inflation that they're here for you.
Grace Community Food Pantry of Flagler County is feeding Northeast Florida children and families, seniors, and active and retired military members who are struggling to put food on the table. Pastor Charles Solano, leader of the food pantry, says no one needs to be embarrassed during this time of inflation and high prices.
They get a healthy portion of frozen protein. They do get shelf-stable product. They get a lot of produce and bakery. They get laundry soap that somebody makes for us, actually, in their own bathtub. They get whatever that we have. If you go shopping, you'll see that what we give out is probably about $50, $60 worth of frozen meats. The rest is going to be dairy.
Pastor Solano says if you know a local family in need, please send them to the Grace Community Food Pantry at 245 Education Way in Bunnell. The hours are 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Saturday and from 1 to 4 on Sunday. For Flagler's Morning News, I'm Karen Johnson.
How do you get meningococcal disease and how do you treat it?
Flagler County Medical Director Dr. Stephen Bickles said it spreads easily.
It's airborne. It's pretty easily spread. It's been seen in, little mini epidemics in college dorms.
Bickle reminds, though, in the past year, there have only been 35 cases in Florida. So how does one treat meningococcal disease? Bickles said one treatment is antibiotics. But there's more.
There's vaccines if you're exposed.
Dr. Bickles said that meningococcal disease is an infection of the central nervous system, and you'll know it if you have it. Flagler Health Matters is on the radio on Saturday mornings at 11:30 or anytime on the Flagler radio app. Tomorrow, should we be worried about monkeypox? From the WNZF Newsroom, I'm Deb Albertson.
And now you're up to date on Flagler's Morning News. I'm Rich Carroll.